Special United Nations Ambassador GERARD the liaison tool consisted of UN principal organs involved in peacekeeping operations. The United Nations Charter. No discussion of the UN is complete without mentioning the United Nations Charter, signed on June 26, 1945, which serves as the founding document of the organization and defines the purpose and principles of the United Nations. The UN Day is celebrated on October 24th, as it represents the date that the Charter was ratified. Establishment of the UN. The UN is an international organization founded in order to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relations among nations, promote social progress, a better living standard to human rights, be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations in the attainment of all those common ends. The UN is made up of 193 sovereign member states when I learned this course, who discuss common problems and work on major issues. Impartiality, universality of the UN are key elements of its legitimacy. The UN is a tool of all member states who come together to discuss common problems and arrive at decisions by voting on major issues. The UN Charter and the principal organs. The UN Charter establishes 6 principal organs. The principal organs directly involved in UN peacekeeping are General Assembly, Security Council, UN Secretariat. The relationship between the Charter and peacekeeping operations is part of the third module of that course. Some key points on the General Assembly. The General Assembly is made up of representatives of all UN member states who discuss and make decisions on development, humanitarian, social, and human rights issues. They also discuss financial issues, including budget approvals for UN peacekeeping missions. Each member state has one vote in the General Assembly. The General Assembly meets annually and also for a specific session, for special sessions as needed. There are several committees within the General Assembly, including the Special Committee on Peacekeeping Operations, C-34. General Assembly responsibilities and functions. According to the Charter of the UN, the General Assembly may consider and make recommendations on the general principles of cooperation for maintaining international peace, security, including disarmament. Discuss any question relative to international peace and security, and except where a dispute or situation is currently being discussed by the Security Council, make recommendations on it. Discuss with the same exception and make recommendations on any question within the scope of the Charter or affecting the powers and functions of any organ of the UN. Initiate studies and make recommendations to promote international political cooperation, development and codification of international law, the realization of human rights and fundamental freedoms, international collaboration in the economic, social, humanitarian, cultural, educational, health fields. Make recommendations for the peaceful settlement of any situation that might impair friendly relations among nations. Receive and consider reports from the Security Council and other UN organs. Consider and approve the UN budget and establish the financial assessments of member states. Elect the non-permanent members of the Security Council and the members of other UN councils and organs, and on the recommendation of the Security Council, appoint the Secretary General. Security Council has the primary responsibility for maintaining peace and security. They investigate and recommend peaceful measures to resolve disputes between states, may take coercive measures if it determines a threat to peace and security. Security Council compositions and functions. Security Council is made up of 5 permanent members: China, France, Russian Federation, United Kingdom, and the United States. There are also 10 non-permanent members who are elected by the General Assembly. The non-permanent members have 2-year terms. The Security Council meets in New York. Each Security Council member has 1 vote. 9 out of 15 votes are required for decisions to pass. If a permanent member of the Security Council votes against a resolution, veto power, it does not pass. UN Secretariat is the administrative arm of the UN and is led by the Secretary General, made up of a wide variety of departments and offices which deal with all aspects of the UN mandate, including peacekeeping operation. United Nations Secretariat compositions and functions. The Secretariat employs more than 43,000 staff or international civil servants by the time I earned this course, who work directly for the UN. These civil servants are not working for their country as diplomats. The Secretary General is the chief administrative officer of the organization, is appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendation of the Security Council, and serves a 5-year renewable term. Has the authority to bring any situation that she or he thinks may threaten international peace and security to the attention of the Security Council. Departments of the UN Secretariat. 3 departments of the UN Secretariat play the leading role when it comes to UN peacekeeping operations. Department of Peacekeeping Operations, Department of Field Support, and Department of Political Affairs, DPCO, DFS, DPA. Sure, Secretariat contributes to the day-to-day running of peacekeeping operations. So the UN Secretariat, every department contributes to the day-to-day running of peacekeeping operations. However, 3 departments are directly associated. Department of Peacekeeping Operation. The Secretary General gives responsibility for the executive direction and administration of all UN peacekeeping operations to the Under Secretary General for Peacekeeping Operations. This person is often referred to as the USG DPCO. DPCO traces its roots in 1948 with the creation of what are now considered the first UN peacekeeping operations, the UN Truce Supervision Organization, UNTCO, in the Middle East, and the UN Military Observer Group in India and Pakistan, UNMOGIP. Up to the late 1980s, peacekeeping operations were operated through the UN Office of Special Political Affairs. Department of Peacekeeping Operation DPCO was formally created in 1992 when Boutros Ghali took office as Secretary General of the UN through the Department of Peacekeeping Operation in New York. The USG under Secretary General DPCO directs and controls UN peacekeeping operations, develops policies and develops operational guidelines based on Security Council resolutions, example mission mandate, prepares reports from the Secretary General to the Security Council on each peacekeeping operation. The report includes appropriate observations and recommendations, advises the Secretary General on all matters related to the planning, establishment, and conduct of peacekeeping operations, acts as a focal point between the Secretariat and member states who are looking for information on any matters related to peacekeeping operations, is responsible and accountable to the Secretary General for ensuring that the requirements of the UN security management system are met by the DPCO-led field missions. Then Department of Field Support. On behalf of the Secretary General, the Under-Secretary General for Field Support, or USGDFS, and the Department of Field Support are responsible for delivering dedicated support to UN field operations. The DFS was created in 2007 to better support UN peace operations. The services of the Department of Field Support include personnel, finance, procurement, logistics, communications, information technology, and other administrative general and administration issues. Then DPA, Department of Political Affairs, established in 1992. The DPA is the lead UN Department for Peacekeeping and Preventive Diplomacy. The main functions of the DPA are to provide substantive direction to special political missions, SPMs, to collaborate with the peacekeeping missions as partner, particularly on political analysis and electoral assistance. Example, the UN peacekeeping operation in Cyprus, UNFICIYP, operates side by side with the special advisor who handles the Secretary General's group officers' functions. There are resources about United Nations Chapter 2, Chapter 8. Latest information on currently deployed UN peacekeeping operation can be found in United Nations peacekeeping video in the course of peace honoring 60 years of UN peacekeeping operation. Latest information on currently deployed UN political and peace building missions can be found at DPCO, DFS, forming a new operation, history of PK, or peacekeeping operations, the early years, the post-Cold War surge, the present, current operations, policy does, agenda for peace, report of the Secretary General of the Security Council, the Blimey report of the panel on UN peace operations, Indigenous freedom, report of the Secretary General Mr. Kofi Annan of the UN for decision by heads of states and governments, capstone doctrine, UN peacekeeping operations principles and guidelines, new horizons, a new partnership agenda, charting a new horizon for UN peacekeeping, the New Horizon Initiative Progress Report, number 1 and 2, BPKO DGS, year 2011. Then, when it comes to lesson 2, DPCO develops policies and develops operational guidelines based on Security Council resolutions. That is the Department of Peacekeeping Operations. DPA supports peacekeeping operations with needs assessments, policy guidance, or deployment of specialized personnel. That is the Department of Political Affairs. DFS delivers administrative and logistical support to UN field operations, including peacekeeping and special political missions. That is Department of Field Support. Thank you very much for listening.